Just like Carla Powell's TV studio.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our afternoon professional learning session here at Port Clinton City Schools. We're glad you tuned in. Today we have Chelsea Moyer, who's going to do a session on what's new with Google. And what I love about this is we are already using Google tools in so many great and creative ways. When I first met Chelsea Moyer, that's what she was doing. She was teaching teachers and administrators on how to use Google to really be productive and get things done. And I'm so glad that we give her this chance because there's been a lot of updates over the summer. And she is really the Google girl. So Chelsea, I'm excited to find out what's new. And please forgive me if I chime in and with some stupid questions, but I'm just trying to learn.
No, you're fine. Chime in anytime you want, Kelly. I am actually going to start sharing my screen. So I'm hoping you can see
I can.
Google Classroom over there. And I'm just going to turn my camera off because I get distracted. So a lot of what I'm going to show you today is in Google Classroom, and I'm going to take you into my demo classroom. But before I get there, there's some really cool things on your Google Classroom homepage. This is Google Classroom's 10th birthday. So happy 10th birthday, Google Classroom. The whole month of September, they've been celebrating. It's kind of crazy that it's been around for that long. And I think a lot of us have been using it since the infancy stages and kind of have watched it grow throughout the years. So a couple of things when you're on this screen, and it's going to look different for everybody depending on what your role is within Google and in the district. So I'm hoping all of you have this call out. You may have dismissed it already, and I'll share the link later to get back to it. But Google put together this generative AI course. Now, we're not going to talk a ton about AI today, but I went through this and it was fantastic. I'm not a huge self-paced learning person. I tend to zone out and get distracted easily, but this was really, really good. So there's a nice little plug for that. I know we have a couple of our admins on today. You guys will have the ability to visit a class, and teachers, for full transparency, I think this is helpful because your principals can help you if you maybe are going to be out sick and you have a sub in your room for the day. Or I can help you if you are trying to troubleshoot something. You're trying to either post an assignment or create something and get it into Google Classroom. I can help you remotely. So if I can't physically get to you quickly, I can log in. So you can log in and just start typing in any teacher or student's name. And it will show you a list of, I don't know if it's going to work well to show you my classes, but this will show you a list of the classes that I am a part of. If you were to look up a student's classes, you would see the classes that they are in, which is really kind of cool. Back on your homepage, we're going to come back in a little bit to these resources. This is a cool new section that Google added, and we're going to take some time and look at all those resources. And there's an analytics here. So you admins, you will have school analytics, and teachers, you will have classroom analytics, which I will show you how to see in just a second.
Chelsea, I just want to give a quick testimonial to the visit a class. So you showed me that yesterday, and I had a meeting with a brand new teacher to our district. And before the meeting, I was able to go into their classroom and kind of get a feel for what they've been doing for the start of the year. And it really enhanced our conversation. So I found it incredibly useful. And I talked to the teacher about it, and they didn't feel it was intrusive or anything like that. So it was very awesome.
Yeah, and administrators, when you go in and use this, it's going to ask you what your purpose is, and then that sends the teacher a notification. So teachers don't feel like it's like that whole big brother thing where we're watching you. You'll get an alert anytime someone goes into your classroom. But yeah, I think there's a lot of really cool ways to use that to help everyone, depending on the scenario. All right, I'm going to jump into, I have my Mickey Mouse Clubhouse set up here, and I'm just going to jump to the People tab. So I have 5 students in here, and I have 2 co-teachers. One of the new features Google added, and I know some of you have been asking for this for a really long time, is we can create groups in here. So I know I only have 5 kids in my sample class, but let's say you have 20 students and you're breaking them up into maybe some ability groupings, or you're doing a special project and the kids are working in groups. You can set up your own groups and they're really easy to do. You just come down here, you create your group. I'm just going to go with group B, and all you literally do is check the boxes of the kids that you want in that group and hit create. And when we get back to assignments in just a minute here, you'll be able to see that you can assign something to one group and it will only go to those kids. So before this was an option, when we didn't have the ability for groups, you had to manually go in on every assignment and assign it individually to the students that you wanted to complete that work. So this is a huge upgrade for us. Flipping back to classwork, Google's really working hard on analytics to make teachers' jobs easier. So I have a couple of assignments that I just posted this morning down here, and this will work on assignments that you've created this school year. I don't think anybody would have a classroom open from last school year, but it won't work on assignments that were posted before the beginning of this school year. So if I click on this sample assignment, there's a new little call out here at the bottom that show you how many students haven't done any work on that assignment. Now this only works if it's a Google file format. So if you've attached a Google Doc, a Google Slides, a Google Sheet to the assignment, it will let you know who has not completed it. If you've linked to something outside of Google, maybe it's a quizzes or an Edulastic assignment, it's not going to show you that same information. And when you click on that, it's going to take you into your assignment. You've probably seen this screen before when you're grading things. It will show you individual students and whether or not they have interacted with the document yet. By default, it shows you the students without any edits, because when we were on the previous screen, we clicked the link that said, show me the kids that don't have any edits. If you uncheck this, you can see that at 11:50, if you hover over it, it tells you the exact time. So last edited on September 24th at 11:50 a.m. The card will tell you how many hours ago it was edited. I'm not good at doing time math quickly in my head, so the hovering works really well for me. You can also, let me actually go back to my, this is the homepage of your class. Now, if you're on any of the tabs, something new, they've had this for a little while, but up here in the top, you also have some more analytics that you can see for your class. Now, I obviously don't have real students in here doing work, so my screen is going to be very blank, but you can see how your students are progressing for the class. And you can even change the time frame. So if you want to say since August, which is nice, that's since the beginning of the school year, you can see the average grade. You can see the percentage of students that have completed the assignments. It will tell you how many they're missing. I will say, just remember Progress Book is our official grading tool. So just because the average grade in here might be a B, that's probably not including all of your assignments that you've been giving for the whole school year so far. So don't put too much weight into the grade piece of this, but I think it'd be really helpful to see the number of missing assignments. Now, admins, we can do the same thing for your building. And I honestly did not spend a ton of time testing this, so I'm hoping you can see it for your building and it's not overwhelming with the whole district. So here are some of the analytics that you would see. 69% of students have completed their assignments. I think we have to take all of these data points with a grain of salt, because some teachers, I should say every teacher, uses Google Classroom a little bit differently. So just because there's an assignment out there doesn't mean teachers are necessarily expecting completion right now. But I just think this is really cool that they're giving us some in-depth look into what students are completing and what's been posted out there. You can also use grading periods now. So I'm going to jump into your settings over here. I believe I set these up around August 10th, somewhere in there. So if you were ahead of the game and you created your Google Classrooms before I set up this year's grading periods, yours is going to look like mine. This Google Classroom has been set up for a while. But if you created your Google Classroom after I entered the district-wide grading periods, these were probably a choice for you to automatically put them in here. It's totally up to you if you want to do grading periods or not. It just will group your assignments inside of your gradebook if you wanted to use the grading periods. Now that this has this feature, it was released kind of early to mid-August. So now that it's built in, when we get rolling for next school year, I can set these for the following year once we have our calendar. So there'll be an option for everyone at the start of next school year. I don't know if you guys can hear the fan on my computer. I apologize. It's going crazy right now. Hopefully it's not too loud.
You sound great.
Okay, another update, which I think is fantastic. They have edited the parent and guardian summaries. So I'm going to go in actually back to my settings here. Sorry, I'm flipping screens a lot on you. If you have, in the past, parents could only see a little rundown of what you posted in your classroom. So I'm actually going to go to this guardian access setting or section in your settings. And there's a C example. And this will show you, if you scroll down on this page, they have some examples here of what the emails look like. We are fortunate enough to have the EDU Plus, which means we pay for our Google services. So we get this upgraded parent sample. Now, actually, let me pull up the old one. So the old format used to just be the text that you would put in the title and the text that you would put in the assignment. It wouldn't tell you any links, or it wouldn't show you what to click on. So parents really couldn't see your assignments. Now that they've updated this, we actually get this style down here. So the parents still see the title of the assignment and the text that you put in the directions, but they get this little link now that says view in classroom, and they get this view only. It's kind of like they can mirror the student view in Google Classroom. So I think this really makes these email summaries that we're sending to parents much more valuable, because they can go in and they can look at your links. If you posted a YouTube video, they can see the link to the YouTube video. Now, they're not going to be able to complete that assignment. They would still have to be logged in as the student. But that parent summary, they get a lot more of an in-depth view of what you're doing in your classroom.
Chelsea, quick question. I hope you didn't already say this just now. So like in Progress Book, I can see the last time a parent looked at it in the Progress Book, right? Is that feature available on this? So like, can I see if a parent has looked at a summary?
I don't think you can. So the only thing you're going to see with that would be a really good feature, though, that we should request. The only thing you're going to see in here is I connected a sample parent account to a student. If this person, I went in and I accepted the invitation, if they hadn't accepted the invitation, in parentheses, it would say like pending or invited, excuse me, something like that. But unfortunately, there is not anything that will tell us whether or not they have.
Got it. Just curious. Thank you.
Yeah, but that would be really helpful to see if they've been engaged or not.
Yeah, I know when I taught on Progress Book, I'd always check when I got a message from a parent. I'd see when have they looked at a grade?
Yeah, that's really helpful. In the grading window, I'm going to go in here and just pretend like I'm creating a new assignment. There's all kinds of new stuff on the assignment pages. The one I mentioned earlier, now that we have those groups set up, I can assign it to just one group. I can assign it to multiple groups, or you can assign it to all of your students, the way we've always done it. And you still have that individual selection. So, if a student's absent and you're giving them some sort of alternate assignment to make up their time, you can still do it that way. If you selected due dates, I'm going to put in here as like Friday is the due date, time's optional. You have to pick a due date. And once you do that, it will allow you to turn off submissions after the due dates. I know this has been a pain point, more so for our secondary classrooms. If this is something you don't want to accept after the due date, you can turn that off, and there won't be any more of those so-and-so turned it in late emails. Those will not come through because they won't be able to turn it in. So that's kind of a cool feature. We also, I believe all of these other settings are pretty much the same, except for your grading periods. Those are now in here if you would like to group your assignments by grading period. This section here, the attachments and the add-ons, this has a lot of new stuff in it. I'll start with add-ons because those are the most fun. I have added a few of the tools that we are using and that are approved throughout the district. So let's say you have an Ed Puzzle video. I don't know if I have mine linked. It's going to pop up and it's going to show you the videos that you've created in Ed Puzzle. Once you do the sign-in piece once, it will remember it the next time unless you jump in on a new device. Okay, I'm not going to take the time right now to do this, but it would pull up all of your Ed Puzzle videos that you have, and you could quickly link them instead of going to Ed Puzzle, bringing it over, and posting the assignment. Now, there are a ton of add-ons that are out there, and to be quite honest, I just don't know what everyone is using. I've got a pretty good idea. So if you click on the three little dots here, you can explore more add-ons that are out there. And right here, these are the few that I know we're using in the district and that are already on our approved list. So if you click this view more next to the approved for you, you can see I have a few that are installed. So Screencastify isn't installed yet. I can click on it. You will only have an install button. You're not going to have the two choices that I have. So once I go ahead and install this, again, accept the permissions, that will become one of my choices on the add-ons screen. Okay, so now here we go. I can pull in my Screencastify videos really quickly. The other thing is if there's more add-ons out there for tools that you're using, let me know. Please send in a ticket, and what we'll do down here, you can explore more of them. So like Boom Cards I know is really popular. We're working on getting that approved to be used in the district. Once that gets approved, I can come in here and I'll add it to the approved list of apps. So as you're exploring through here, I'm also working on adding iExcel. There's a little technical glitch that's not letting me add that right now, but that is in the works as well. But if you find things that you're using, let me know and I'll get them moved up here to our approved list, and then you can start adding them on. We're going to come back to the YouTube and the practice sets in just a second. Those are also in another place that they've added to Google Classroom, and I want to show them to you in another section. But the add-ons are very, very cool. I think that's it on this page. I want to go into grades real quick before we go to the last section that we're going to look at. In here, they've now given you the option to excuse students from an assignment. So if you don't want them to complete it or they don't need to, you can click on the three little dots next to the assignment and you have this excuse option. So then it just marks it off, kind of like if you didn't even, like these ones over here where we didn't even assign it to those students. If you do that by mistake, you can always come back in here and just say do not excuse, and then it pops right back up for them. And then one other grading thing that they added is the ability to decide how you handle missing assignments. So in your settings, there's a new feature in here for the grade for missing assignments. So let's say the assignment was due on Friday, but you are going to allow students to turn it in late. How do you want Google to automatically apply the grade if they didn't turn anything in on the due date or on or before the due date? And I know some of you have different policies on this. Some of you do like the 60% rule. You can put that in here so that it will automatically populate for the student. But I thought that was pretty cool. If you don't want it to automatically populate a grade, you don't have to use this feature. You can just turn that off and it won't do anything for you.
I really like that. I wish
Progress
book had that. Yeah.
Yeah, we may have to. Kelly, don't let me forget all these good ideas. We need to send them in because I think that would be really cool.
We should do this every week.
All right, so the last place I want to go is over here to this resources. And I think this is something we've needed in Google Classroom for a really long time. because a lot of you work collaboratively. You're either working on a grade level team, a department level team, and one person creates the assignment for this week, and then the next person takes the assignment for the next week. You really do kind of divide that workload. And we've had some cool ways to work around that in the past. So some of you used to have, like over here in your classrooms, you would have a teachers only class where you would post all of your assignments, and then when you went in, you did that reuse post and grabbed from your like resource classroom. Well, Google kind of caught on that people were doing that, and now they made you your own resources section. So this is really cool. There, you can do practice sets in here. And practice sets came out, I want to say sometime last year or the end of 2 school years ago, but they weren't great when they first came out, and now they're pretty good. So the idea behind a practice set is an interactive way for students. It's basically like a quiz, but it's self-paced, and the students are able to see feedback on their answers, and it doesn't really count for a grade. So it's really meant to be kind of like a cross between a quiz and I'm going to say the no word, a Quizlet, which we're not allowed to use anymore. So it gives them that interactive practice. The problem when it first came out is you had to create everything from scratch, and that's incredibly time consuming. Well, now they're giving you the option to import a Google form, which a lot of you already have quizzes established in your Google Forms, and it'll turn it into a practice set for you. And then you can go in and add the feedback, which makes the practice set super valuable. So I'm going to go down here, Kelly.
I am really excited about this.
Yeah, it's
because this makes me think of like an online course. Can you embed video and things like that? This is so cool.
I believe so. So let me just come in here. I don't have as many examples as I used to. I have a bunch of quizzes for like Google level 1, practicing for that kind of certification. So I'm just going to grab one of these. I don't even know what it's about. This one is Google Sheets. Okay, so I'm going to import this. It looks like I had about 6 questions on the quiz, because the first one is the blank question that came in when I started the practice set. So I'm going to delete this. It takes your quiz and it pulls in the correct answers. And then down here with this resources, you can add whatever you want. If it's a math problem and maybe you have a graphic that's a hint, you can pull that in here. You can pull in a YouTube video. Practice sets could be a whole nother session all on their own. I just kind of want to introduce it, that it's out there. The other cool thing that they did, even if you just start with this and you go back in later and you do a couple of these, maybe every quarter you go in and do just a few, they give you this try as a student option. So you can really see in real time what it's going to look like for the students. Well, automatically, I don't love that I forgot a title. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to do okay, cool. And then if I refresh it over here, oh, maybe I didn't hit save. Okay, it is live, I promise. I probably just need to click this button again. Okay, so then as a student, I can go in here and it gives you this little pen. So I think this is really cool, especially if you're a math teacher. They could be working this out on the screen a little bit. But then they can select their answer and they can check it, and it will tell them if they got it right or if they got it wrong. Okay, let me just get this one wrong on purpose. And then if they were to get it wrong, I didn't put in any of those supports when I was building these practice sets. But if you did, the student could be like, oh, I need to review that in the YouTube video, or I need to look at the graphic that was provided. And then you can see over here on the left, it shows them their progress throughout the practice set.
Absolutely love it.
Isn't that cool?
So cool.
Now, the other cool thing is practice sets have been around for a minute. And I think they are a little time consuming to create, but I do think there's a really good return on your time investment for these. So another thing that Google has built in is on these 3 little dots, now you have this option to share a link. And I'm not quite sure I have a great suggestion for organizing this yet, but like, let's say I am one person on a team of 5. I can take this link, and you just want to check the box here. And if I copy this link, I'm not going to open my email right now, but if I open my email, I can email it to the other members on my team, and they can click this link, and it's going to automatically, when they click it, it's going to bring them to this resources page, and it's going to share automatically the practice set that you created with them. So I'm just thinking, our local Port Clinton learning community here, we all are working together, but I know there are people out there on social media that are creating awesome practice sets. And if they are generous enough to share the link to their resources, even if it's someone not inside of our school district, you can pull those things in. I will say, make sure you vet them, make sure the videos that are included are appropriate. We want to make sure we're sharing quality materials with our kids. But I think that is awesome to be able to collaborate and share things without every person spending a ton of time creating them. And then the next thing they've added is this video activity. So this is just my opinion on it. Google realizes how powerful Edpuzzle is, and they are working to build their own Edpuzzle tool. So you come in here, if you have a YouTube video in mind, you can just take the link and copy and paste it, or you can put in just a regular search. So like, let's say we're teaching about the branches of government this time of year. You go in here, you select your video that you want. It gives you a little rundown on the video. And then it lets you add in your questions. It is not exactly like Edpuzzle yet, but I feel like it's coming. So when you go in here, you just click on, you want to add a question. You can choose your question types. There's only 3 right now. So let's just say I want a multiple choice. I'm just going to do this quickly. I'll just make it a true false. And if you want the question at 1 minute and 15 seconds, hopefully my video is long enough for that, you would do save. Oops, I probably didn't select a correct answer. There we go. So then when students get to 1 minute and 15 seconds in the video, it's going to add your first question. You can add multiple questions. A couple of the limitations on this, it does not force them to watch the video without skipping ahead. So I think that is a key difference. And I forget, there was one other piece and now it's escaping my mind, but that's the big one, is that you can't force them to watch the video without skipping ahead. So same thing on this one here. You can see it as a student and it'll show you the questions on the timeline while they're watching it. Yet. I'm really hoping, you know how all the tech companies are. They're super competitive with one another and they want all the business in one place. So I think it's only a matter of time. But I think this is really cool to start exploring this option that's already built into Google Classroom. So I know we're down to the wire with 1 minute left. You can do the same thing with those videos. So let's say, same thing, you're working on your team, one person creates the video, click those 3 little dots, share the link, and you can share this out with your teams. So my gut reaction with organizing all of this stuff is create a Google Doc within your team, within your department, and put all the links to your practice sets and your Google Classroom. They're calling them video activities, but your Google Classroom version of Edpuzzle, put those in there so that you have one master document, and then you can just copy and paste from there. They'll always be in your account. So if you created it, it will always be there. So then when I go back into Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, I go to create my assignment. Now when I click practice sets, it's going to show me those practice sets that we just made. So I think I managed to capture all of that in 30 short minutes.
That was a lot. That is awesome. And I don't know if you had something else you wanted to say. Thank you very much, Moyer.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I think this is one of those things where some of those topics that we talked about today could be an entire session on their own. So
we'll be back.
Yeah, we can do another one.
Yeah,
we'll do another one. Or if you're ready to dig in before we get back to a session on that, let me know. And I've got some good resources I can send your way to get you started on your own.
Awesome. Well, it's good to have the Google girl with us. Thank you, Moyer. Lots of good stuff. And next week, I'm going to get this uploaded so you can watch it on demand. Maybe you are. And next week, Chelsea and I are going to talk about artificial intelligence. We got some surprises, so you don't want to miss that one.
It's going to be a fun one.
All right. Thank you. Oh
All right.
boy.
Thanks, everybody.